I'm really thankful to talk to everyone about the mentor relationship with my writer friend Laura. I think it's really good that we are putting everything out on the table so everyone can see what goes on. It's very important to me because I want to make sure everyone gives credit to Laura. That I don't want them to think that I'm writing the story for her or ghostwriting. The story and the imagination, the characters are all hers. And so you might wonder, well, why am I involved then? If it's everything is hers, why am I involved as a writer? So most writers know that it helps to have a second set of eyes, the editor, go over their writing. And also I fulfill the role as a mentor in helping her to make the story and the characters realistic. What would flow well in a story versus what is unbelievable and would make the readers think, okay, this story is not flowing well, it's jerking around, that sort of thing.
What I'm thinking, Bob, of the scene here is that Charlotte's mom is about to go home from the hospital, and let's say that she has to watch her mom have the tubes in her vein taken out and the heart monitor taken off and having to take off her clothes and stuff. You know, that's what I have in mind. Do you think you can take that and type it?
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is that she's going to be almost in two worlds. She's going to be watching what's happening as her mom's getting ready to be discharged from the hospital, but she's also going to be thinking how glad she's going to be glad that her mom's coming home, but she's also going to be thinking about when her mom was first brought to the hospital and she first saw her with those tubes and wires the first time, and thinking, oh no, is my mom going to die? And so she's got these mixed feelings, and I'm trying to think about how to add those feelings and emotions to the scene, because I don't want it to be just a plain scene where she's just watching her mom put her clothes on and getting the tubes out. We want the readers to feel the emotion that she's getting to bring her mom home. So what do you think we can do to add that emotion to the scene?
Like, we can have her tear up a little bit, like little small eye drops coming from the side of her eye, but she doesn't want her mom to see it, so she goes like this, act like she's yawning, like she's tired, she hasn't got much sleep, like this, and then have the tear go like that. So that's what I thought I was getting into. When I first started helping Laura with her writing, I thought it would be just editing, fixing grammar and punctuation, and letting her, go on with that. And I would just be basically a glorified spell checker. But I found out later on that I got into more than what I signed up for. Because as you go through the story with her, she is pulling on old memories of hers, sometimes painful memories, to apply those memories and feelings to her characters so that they are realistic and believable human beings. And in the process of going through her life and her memories, you can't help but develop close feelings for her. She's become a close friend of mine as well, because I've come to learn a lot about what she lived through in her life. And subsequently, or conversely, I should say, she's also learned about my life, because I've used my feelings as well to tell her what would be realistic and examples from my life about what happened and how I reacted, so that I can then share with her a set of choices of how her characters can react to their circumstances. And so it's not only that we're sharing imaginations, we're sharing each other's lives and our ups and our downs. Sometimes the most painful of memories we share with each other, funerals of loved ones and so on, very difficult circumstances. And so you can't help but become close with someone when you have that level of sharing with someone.
But really, are they tears of joy because her mom's coming home, or are they tears of sadness because her mom's going through all this ordeal? And what kind of, or are they mixed emotions?
Probably mixed emotion, because of course, if a family member comes home from the hospital, you're going to feel both of that. You're not just going to feel like happy tears. You're going to be feeling sad tears, because you're going to have to think about the the next journey that you're going to go through with that family member.
Yeah, you're right.
Like me.
This is the part
Like me, when my dad came home, that was the biggest thing I had to think about too. Like, what is going to happen in the next journey? I had to think about that. Oh, what was I going to see in front of my face? You got that?
So you had a little anxiety about the unknown, about the future, the unknown future. You were a little afraid,
Exactly.
or nervous or scared.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a better sense of the feeling for that. You guys, male writers, sometimes we have a hard time with that because we have a smaller emotional range than women. Women can actually have multiple emotions at the same time.
That's true,
Being
actually.
happy to pick up their mom, but at the same time being afraid of the unknown, whereas guys would just be happy that she's coming home. Or they would
That's
just
true.
be scared, or they just, guys have like the emotional spectrum of a tablespoon, whereas women have this huge rainbow of feelings that they can have. So, so I'm going to try to capture that she's glad to be bringing her mom home, but that she's also worried about the future. Is my mom going to have to come back here again? Is she going to have to come back for checkups, or is she really coming home for good this time? And those kind of feelings.
Okay. Pretty cool. Okay, let's get to work. And so that, to me, that has been half the fun, is that journey of getting to know her and her getting to know me. And that's just as much fun, as important as finishing the story itself. In talking with her about these characters and talking with her the story, I find it hard to believe that she has a learning disability. She is very intelligent and very realistic as she paints the picture of the story with these characters. And I find that I'm looking up to her as a role model for a writer with imagination, because her imagination knows no bounds. And so it's really been quite a journey with her, and she's been one of the most intelligent people I know, and close friends and good friends that I know, not just someone who I'm mentoring in the world of writing. So I hope that explains a lot to everyone. I hope that gives you all some context about the writing relationship, and more importantly, just the friendship that we have between the two of us. And thank you for your time. Hello! I am Arthur in the making. I am here to talk about how me and Dr. Bob met at my work. You guys are probably wondering how me and Dr. Bob met. I'm going to answer that question. We met back at my old workplace called Pat and Oscar's, as it was called at the time. That day, I just happened to be doing my job. I was filling up the cheese containers and stuff and wiping down the tables. I saw this man come in, and he, I think, had a paper in his hand. I was watching him some time, and kind of was curious what he was up to, because not everybody comes in there with paper. So I came up to him and said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Well, kind of writing something." It's like, "Cool, what do you write?" And then he told me what he wrote. He kind of showed me a little bit of what he was writing that day. I read it a little bit, I liked it. And it was just a bit of this way. Every time he came to see me, we would always say hi, and we'd always show me his stories. And then I started talking about my stories and my ideas. At the time, my ideas were still pretty sketchy, only small ideas. Continued that and stuff. And next one is, what was my thoughts on him back then? Back then, I kind of thought that he was, I thought he was a pervert, or I thought he was kind of weird. back then, because he had like a goatee and he's all wearing black, and I was like thinking, this guy is kind of, I guess, dark or something like that. But, you know, that's what I thought back then. And what I have to say about that is one lesson I think I learned over time of knowing him: don't ever judge a book by its cover. That was pretty much probably my first impression, I think. My impression on him now, it would be, I think he's a nice guy. I think he's really funny. He's a really good mentor to me. Man, he can make you laugh big time, but he's a big help to me. And, well, somehow we combined, even though I may be younger than him and he may be older than me, but somehow the two of us combined really good with the writing stuff. That's what I gotta say on him, on Dr. Bob. So, let me see what else I have to say here. Also, what I got to learn about him, I got to know more about him and more as I got to know him too. So, I hope this video was helpful to you guys.
You know, working with Laura also had a very normal start. People would not think that all of this writing relationship and mentoring and exploring would come from just a very simple event, and that was in the same patio right here where you're seeing me. This is the patio of O's Kitchen. Formerly it was Pat and Oscar's restaurant. And I was just here eating a Greek salad, waiting for my pizza to be cooked. And Laura walked by filling the salt and pepper shakers and started talking to me. And she noticed that I had a pen and paper there, and she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm writing, I'm doing ideas for my story. I like to write fiction. And what's more, I like to write romance fiction." And that got her attention. It's just, she started talking to me about her stories. And that, I was really interested in the story she was talking about, because it sounded like a brand new idea. Of course, being a writer, I'm always interested in new ideas and characters. And she quickly revealed a rich imagination that she could leverage to write some good romance stories. So her and I began working together on her stories. At first it was just grammar and punctuation and that sort of thing. But all of that came from me coming here for lunch one day and talking to her while she was filling salt and pepper shakers. I started coming here every week and having my Greek salad and my pizza every week, and began looking forward to seeing her every day and talking to her more about her stories. She would give me more scenes to write up, and then I would write them up, print them out, bring them back to her, and she would give me the thumbs up or thumbs down. So that's how we got started.
I always say, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. And that is a wrap. Join me on the flip side. And bye.